I've explained the trash, but for this quarter, it's pretty self-explanatory. Is the spider big? Well, then you should probably kill that one first. Hold left and you'll face the first boss of this quarter, a Naxxramas.
Welcome to my parlor.
A Naxxramas fight starts with 2 crypt guards at his side. These adds have a stacking poison that they apply on tanks, they cleave, and they root nearby players. These will need to be tanked away from the boss and be focused down first. Upon death, they will summon 10 corpse scarabs that need to be AoE'd down. Additionally, if any member of your raid dies, they will also spawn 5 corpse scarabs. While killing the adds, have the boss positioned where he started. The boss will cast an ability called Impale. This will send a line of spikes towards a random target, deal damage, and knock them up in the air. You need to use Slow Fall, Levitate, or even Noggin Fogger Elixir to avoid the subsequent fall damage. This boss's most dangerous ability is Locust Swarm. This is a channeled ability that does AoE damage, silences, and stacks, and has a 30-yard range. When this ability is casted, all melee need to run out as quickly as possible, including the tank.
Yes, run! It makes the blood pump faster.
The tank will need to kite the boss while this ability is being channeled. While the boss does move slower during this time, it will help the tank to have a swiftness potion or have a hunter in their party with aspect of the
Where'd
pack.
you post it at?
Additionally,
I gotta find it.
when Locust Swarm is casted, there will be another crypt guard for the rest of the raid to kill during this time. Do all of this and the boss should be dead.
Alright. Let's release there.
Alright, any questions for Naxxramas? He makes it sound a lot more difficult than it really is. It's kind of just one of those fights where you just zug it. It's kind of like Huhuran, where the first time you heard of Huhuran, she probably sounded very intimidating, and then you just beat the fuck out of her, and then she didn't do anything.
Pretty much.
This is much. He really, like, you don't need slow fall or whatever. You just
That
zug.
doesn't have many.
Oh, why did it? What?
As soon as possible, kill the worshippers. Backtrack to go through the door in the middle of the room, hug the left wall, and you'll find the next boss of this quarter, Grand Widow Fairlina.
The greatest glory is to die in the Master's service.
Fairlina is surrounded by 6 adds around her. You'll need to kill the followers at the start of the fight, but do not kill the worshippers. The worshippers will need to be tanked away from the boss and kept alive. This is because Fairlina will enrage once every minute, and the only way to dispel this enrage is to have one of the priests in your raid mind control one of the worshippers and use their ability that dispels the boss. This will also kill that worshipper, so this fight is sort of a race against time to kill the boss before you run out of worshippers to dispel her enrage. She also has a poison bolt volley that will be casted on your raid, and she casts Rain of Fire that you probably shouldn't stand in. This fight is entirely reliant on your priests doing their job correctly, while the rest of your raid kinda just kills the boss like any other boss.
The Master will avenge me.
To get to the next boss, you'll need to go through the exit of the tunnel.
We're gonna have to designate one person. Maybe
It's literally one. No, it literally is one priest. Just heals or is she's about to enrage with true mind control.
Heals is like Revan's tank heals though, so probably someone else.
Turn left and travel through the. Only need
doesn't matter who. It just just a priest. They press mind control. They press, but have someone.
It could resist. We had a backup.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, have 2 whatever. The
Healers
thing with
can figure
it
that
though,
out, I'm sure.
is it's a pet bar. So whichever priest is doing it, make sure that they have their LVUI set up so that they can see the pet bars, or we're gonna have a problem. Because that's it's kind of like Razor Gore, in that sense. Other than that, again, he makes it sound hard. It's really one of those zuggy fights. So.
Will it fuck
only
with them
need
if
to
they
pay
have
30
UI?
gold.
Kind of like on Razor Gore, with the orb.
Yeah, it's like that's what I was saying. Like if they have like UI add-ons or whatever, they need to make sure that those are set up properly for this fight, because that's the biggest concern. Is the priest are gonna mind control her and go like, oh wait, how do I press the ability? Where is it? And then we die.
question. I already know where mine are with my UI. I'm doing fire buff, so I'll do it.
Why does the video keep like resetting?
Someone might be touching it. No one touched the thing, but Punji.
I need to get closer.
Yeah, on there.
To get to the next boss, you'll need to go through the exit of the tunnel, turn left, and travel through the corridor until you see a hole on the right side of the wall. Here, you'll face the last boss of this quarter, Naxxramas. Naxxramas is tanked in the center of the room and faced away from the raid to avoid having your raid take damage from the poison shock. Your tank will also be affected by necrotic poison, a debuff that needs to be cleansed as soon as possible. During this fight, 3 random people will be thrown to the back of the room and wrapped up in a cocoon. Assign ranged DPS to break them out. Also, waves of spiders will spawn, AoE them down. The most important ability she will cast is Web Spray. This is an ability that will stun all members of your raid for 8 seconds and deal damage. It's very important that your healers put a bunch of hots on your tanks so they don't die during this time. Like I said, this quarter is easy, and if you do all that, this Spider Queen will be exterminated.
So, he's right about the HOTS thing, except for the fact that in the disgusting Mongoloid world buff meta, they can't do that, because you're going to have world buffs, and they're going to take it off of you. So that was this is where I kind of had a concern for that
I'll
fight.
just have to be careful with my consumes. If I don't overconsume, then I can keep them on me.
Usually it's so like the way you're supposed to do this is Blizzard intended for you to put on a bunch of hots on the tanks so that when you're stunned, the hots can keep the tank alive just long enough for the healers to get back out of the stun. I don't know how many buff slots you can really afford, though, especially if you're fully world buffed. Getting to my Naxxramas isn't going to take an hour, so you're probably still going to even have your War Chief.
You just take off some of the damage stuff. You don't fire water and such, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, hey, as long as we know what we're getting
I just
into.
have to make sure I don't have a bunch of consumed rolling.
Yeah. And again, this is that's why we're watching the video. Other than that, for the whole 3 members in the back, those have no health at all. Hunter multi-shot can kill them in 1 hit. Shadow burn can kill them in 1 hit. So just have the locks and hunters, just hover, not stay in the back, and then multi-shot it or shadow burn it. They even get their soul shard back because it dies instantly. Again, unless the health values were changed, it should literally die in 2 hits, and should be no problem at all. But I don't know. Could have 1,000,000 health. I don't. For right now, let's just presume that the locks and hunters are on breakup duty. Other than that, this was a very, very easy fight. We will exterminate her, as he did in the video, with our can of raid spray. And there's the fucking
With the arachnid quarter thwarted, we can take this teleporter next to the dead boss to go back to the center of Naxxramas, so now we can go to the plague quarter. Stone skin gargoyles are going to be the most annoying trash you deal with in this quarter. At 30%, they will turn to stone, and you have 6 seconds to kill them or they'll heal to full health. Just make sure you're focusing them down, 1 at a time. And after dealing with the gargoyles, you'll face Noth, the Plague Bringer.
Glory to the Master!
First off, during this whole fight, skeletons will spawn every 30 seconds or so from 3 corners around the room. You'll need off tanks to sit here and tank these mobs when they spawn, and your raid will need to kill them. Meanwhile, the boss will be tanked around the center of the room, and he will cast a curse that needs to be dispelled as soon as possible. If it isn't dispelled, members of your raid affected by said curse will inflict heavy damage on the raid. Noth will also blink around the room like a mage. This effect wipes aggro and also cripples the melee. This also needs to be dispelled quickly, especially on the tank, so he can grab the boss once again. Lastly, the boss will periodically teleport out of range onto the balcony, and stronger mobs will spawn from the corners of the room. This shouldn't be too difficult as Noth is one of the easier bosses within the raid, so you should kill him relatively quickly.
I will serve the master in death.
So for those that didn't catch that, this fight is Lucifron for Molten Core. That's it. You decurse and then dispel. And that's the entire fight. There's nothing else in the fight. That's it. It's not even a fight. Yeah. That's the end of that. Oh, no, but the gargoyles, fuck them. As he said, they're the most annoying trash in the entire raid. I sure hope your skull theory is right, Revit. Because boy howdy, we're gonna need some Zug on those Zuggin. Those gargoyles, you can't interrupt the cast, you can't stun them, so you just have to kill them. And if you don't kill them, yeah, it can get a real big problem. However, there is a way to skip the trash on Noth from Arachnid. So if push comes to shove, we can always do that. You know? I will show you. I can like launch a private, like a, secret private server or whatever. But I'm sure there's videos on how to get to, how to skip Noth trash. But it involves lava swimming, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay. Gargoyles are stupid. That's just of the rant.
Can you shackle them?
Can you No, cannot stun them. Cannot. No CC. No interrupts.
Yeah, but
all you can do is
I think
kill.
what he's saying is I think we can focus the other ads down and then keep the gargoyles shackled. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can shackle them.
You can't CC the gargoyles though. Don't pull with any other ads. It's only it's 2 gargoyles per pull. That's it. But the gargoyles themselves have to be like, each one has to be focused down, and they have to die. Again, what the world buffs will have, it shouldn't be a problem. But I've had groups disband on the gargoyles, so we usually ended up doing the spider wing skip. But
okay, yeah, I thought stuff came with it. Never mind then.
no, and it doesn't. The problem with the gargoyle trash is if you don't like it's kind of got a soft enrage as well, as if it wasn't bad enough. If you don't kill it fast enough, they have an infinitely stacking poison that they do, and if you let them do like 2 full heals, it's probably a wipe because your tank is going to have an undispellable poison that's dealing like 6k damage a second.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you gotta kill him fast.
Alright, what he's talking about is the suppression room after Noth. You got plague bats. They disease the tanks, and which they take more damage.
The gargoyles.
You talk about the gargoyles, it goes stone.
The gargoyles also do a poison though. That's what I'm saying. Like that's their mechanic is you're supposed to kill them because if you don't, your tank is going to melt. That's what I'm.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Again, it shouldn't be much of a problem. I'm just saying, if push comes to shove, I will show you guys the skip. It's a pretty easy skip. You can also do it for military side, which is how we used to do it in Wrath.
So I just thought
we're not getting to military.
I just went through all the buff caps, estimators for tanks, and on my buff cap tracker, I made sure that regrowth and rejuve and power word shield and all these things are preserved, and they don't get pushed off my bar. And as long as I only use like 2 consumes, I can get hotted. It's only if I come with like, Mongoose and I'm Greater Stone Shield potioned and I have Double Crusader. Like when all of these things are all stacked up, that's when I can get knocked down. But I'll talk to the warriors. They should be switching their offhands to 15 agi. Anybody who plans on tanking, so that they don't get a Double Crusader proc.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's. I'm surprised that Noth is the boss we've paused the most on. The boss itself is a joke. His trash is really harder than he is. If you can kill the gargoyles, you can certainly kill him. Again, it really is just the curse. He doesn't do anything. All right. Gauntlet time. What the Please.
To get to the next boss, you'll need to go through the suppression room of Naxxramas. In this gauntlet, you'll have plagued bats that put a disease on your tanks that make them take increased damage. There's also frenzy bats that charge and stun random players in your raid. And there's grubs that do a bunch of AoE nature damage, and plague beasts that deal AoE damage to anybody in melee range. Just hug the right side of the wall and push forward and you should be fine. And after running through the...
Wrong. Hug the left side of the wall, because we're not brain-dead chimps. We're real Chad gamers. Left side of the wall is the way the speedrunners are doing it. It's tried and true method on the PTR. We hug the left. We're not hugging the right. We're not smooth-brained. We can do it. You hug the left, and then you make a beeline to the right.
Straight to the right, yeah.
Yeah. It's so easy that even the smooth brains over at Smooth could do it. And if they can do it, God knows we could. So just a little addendum to that video. We're sticking to the left, not the right, because we're not brain dead. Also, the right has way more trash, and I don't want to kill it. So
the gauntlet, immediately start the next fight. H E I G A N. Hagen the Unclean is a special boss because he is famously known for his mechanic named the Safety Dance. This room is split into 4 different sections, and only one section is safe to stand in. And the pattern starts from the right, moves to the left, and then back again. During Phase 1, your melee will need to be almost constantly moving, as you only have 8 seconds to move between each area. It's also very important that the boss is tanked far away from the casters who stand on the platform off to the side, because if the boss gets too close to them, their mana will be drained. A disease will also be placed on melee that needs to be cleansed as well. During this phase of the fight, 3 random players...
Dude, I remember that one now. Oh my god. My computer was so shitty I couldn't see the graphics, so I always fucking died.
Is your internet gonna cut out?
No, it's not. I got a better computer now. I was a kid.
Have you
not yet. It should be here hopefully in a day or 2. I think it's delayed.
Revit, for this, again, I assume you know how to do it, but just, for those who are unaware, you're going to need to give Revit a second to put it in position. What he's going to have to do is drag it pretty much to the wall of the fight, and then move himself in a position so that it's the boss, him, and then the healers all the way back there, so that they don't get because if they get the curse or the disease, sorry,
yeah, I know.
It's brutal. It's a casting time. Okay,
yeah,
but for
I'll have
DPS as well, they have
on
to be aware of that.
They just can't lag behind. They can't be overly concerned with stuff like backstabbing. Like they're just gonna have to just keep up.
Fuck, I missed Rend.
If they try to backstab, they're gonna get behind, I think.
Yep.
Players will be teleported to the tunnel. In the tunnel, you will need to get to the other side to return to the fight. The ads here have a very low aggro radius, but the eye stalks will be the most annoying mobs, as they have a mind flay but have a very low health. When walking back to the main room where the boss is, be careful of which part of the dance your raid is on, because you don't want to be running back into position and then get blasted with goo. During Phase 2 of the fight is where the real safety dance is. All the casters will be kicked off of the platform and the boss will stand there instead. Now instead of 8 seconds to move between each eruption, now it's 3 seconds. It's still the same pattern, it's just a lot faster, so make sure your friends can dance, because if they don't dance, they're fucking dead.
So, did you
Master these dance moves and...
Pause it. You see how, I mean, some of the rogues maybe are backstabbing in this video, but mostly they're just trying to stay safe. So what I would say is just make sure people understand that their primary objective is to stay with the tank, and not be parry hasting the tank. So they shouldn't be next to me, but they should be at that's why I think his pattern here is you can see the tank to the right, and then you can see kind of everyone's kind of in a line. It's because most people are trying to stay about 90 degrees from the tank and the boss so that they don't parry haste them.
Hey, I'm sorry. Someone's sharing their screen. Or are we just watching this on our own?
There's a link in the general of Watch Together. If you click it, you will watch together with us. No worries. Yeah, I mean it's a bit tricky on the positioning, but if you know how to do it, then that's pretty much half the battle. So it really is this fight.
And Hagen
is pretty
cleaned
much
up.
a tank fight. Just as long as the tank is positioning the boss properly and making sure he's not outranging the healers or putting the tank or putting the healers in range, So you gotta hit that Goldilocks zone. But if you can do that, then the boss is a joke because no one's on dial-up. I hope. I don't know.
If you just joined, click the Watch Together link in general.
Yep.
I'm on my 14.4K mode.
I've got PP internet, so I might have trouble with the boss. But I can dance. Your boy can dance.
I can't fucking dance.
Oh, you'll learn. Hagen teaches you how to dance. And if brother.
I can't dance.
No sirree, you ain't.
To get to the last boss of this quarter, all we need to do is just take a quick walk and we'll face the horrible monster named Lotheb.
I see you.
Here's the big mechanic for this fight.
Look at that.
Healers
thing, man.
can only heal once per minute. All of the healers in your raid will need to focus their one precious heal on the tanks and make sure they aren't overlapping them and accidentally overhealing the tank. The rest of your raid will have to manage mitigating the damage from the inevitable doom spell, which is casted 2 minutes into the fight and will be casted every 30 seconds after. It's imperative that members of your raid bring greater shadow protection pots to mitigate this damage. Lotheb also has a poison aura that does constant ticking damage. It's strongly recommended that players in your raid also use bandages to heal themselves during this fight, but if you're standing in this poison aura, your bandage cast will be cancelled. So get the hell away from the boss if you want to patch yourself up. The fun part about this fight is these spores that will spawn around the room. Have 5 players group up around the spore when you kill it, which gives these players a critical strike chance buff, and they also deal no threat, so you can go absolutely bananas on damage. As long as everybody comes prepared with shadow protection potions and your healers manage their heals correctly, this boss should be pretty easy and you can kill him.
I didn't hear the first part for the healers.
Yeah, gotta rewind that. Some dummy was talking during the strat.
No threat, so your players a crest will be cancelled or the damage. To get to the last boss of this quarter, all we need to do is just take a quick walk and we'll face the horrible monster named Lotheb.
I see you.
Here's the big mechanic for this fight. Healers can only heal once per minute. All of the healers in your raid will need to focus their one precious heal on the tanks and make sure they aren't overlapping them and accidentally overhealing the tank. The rest of your raid will have to manage mitigating the damage from the inevitable doom spell, which is casted 2 minutes into the fight and will be casted every 30 seconds after. It's imperative that members of your raid bring greater shadow protection pots to mitigate this damage. Lotheb also has a poison aura that does constant ticking damage. It's strongly recommended that players in your raid also use bandages to heal themselves during this fight, but if you're standing in this poison aura, your bandage cast will be cancelled. So get the hell away from the boss if you want to patch yourself up. The fun part about this fight is these spores that will spawn.
Alright, that was the healer part.
So it looks like
So,
from a
Alright, so that
healing
sucks.
perspective,
you
from a
get
healing perspective,
you
it looks
get
like
8
you should
seconds to heal.
pre-pop a GNPP, right, and then shadow pots throughout the fight.
You don't need the nature one, just shadow.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
just shadow. Pre-pop shadow, and then you pop another shadow in the middle of the fight.
And you can only heal once per 60 seconds, huh? Oof.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
you can
gonna
heal.
be.
It's not like one cast. You get 8 seconds, but your job through that time is pretty much the like healing assignment. This boss is pretty much healing assignments. The boss.
And
You'll probably want to
again,
have all
make
the.
sure that people are dropping their shit on the edges of the room, so we have enough room to kite around.
Probably want to make sure that they all have the fucking Zandalarian hero charm on. That's a 2-minute
There's
cooldown.
nothing to drop here.
Oh, that's a good point, Josh. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop on that hero charm, so then their heals are better for that 8 seconds. So since we're saving those heals, everyone is supposed to be focusing the tank. No raid healing at all, or like what? Because
No, there's raid healing.
okay, so the shaman will be raid healing with their 1 minute like cooldown the area, and then the priest will be on the tanks. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right.
This fight is so there's two parts of this fight. Spore management, which is we need to assign people, usually our top DPS. Maybe I can get a spore. No, okay. Usually your top non-hunter DPS. Because the threat thing is going to be really important for them. Usually mages will really want this buff because they can kind of melt the boss. Warriors, of course, rogues. Priority should be mages, though, obviously. Revit, you were talking about running out of room. There's no room thing in this fight.
We might get to the point where like people are going to want to ask that we rotate it simply because it's a huge parse mechanic for a lot of people. So for instance, even though Zug can vanish, he's going to want that buff when he wants to parse on that boss. So we've got to be mindful of who wants to rotate in for the spores.
Oh, I mean, we can certainly slot people in, and especially DMF week, we can go okay, well, we're letting this guy parse this week. We're gonna, or if some usually you'll let the people who get the gear parse for that week. Because they have fancy new gear that does a lot of damage. Other than that, healing assignments are huge. Everyone needs to heal everyone. You can't have I'm just gonna heal the tank. The tank's gonna get insta healed to full HP. It's not gonna be.
Just need to make a healing rotation, basically.
Yeah, well, you need to assign people. This priest will heal group 2. This priest and this shaman will heal group 2. This priest and this shaman will heal group 3. So forth and so on. And so spore rotation. Healer thing. Bandages here are crucial for DPS, pretty much. The way as a hunter, especially in any range, because we stand out of the as healers and all that. We stand out of the AOE range. What we're gonna want to do is because you get exactly 8 seconds, so healers are gonna be pre-casting their heal, so that they can get some big bonus heals. And then DPS can bandage through it and get the full effect of a bandage. And bandages are overpowered. So, yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I think priests can actually absorb shield if they don't have the buff, and it won't count towards your heal. Then you can heal. If you have the debuff, though, it won't let you.
Yeah.
So you can throw your absorb shield before you heal, and then that's extra damage aborted.
Remember, you're not conserving mana, though, as a healer on this fight.
I was actually going to ask about that. Do you think it would be better to throw on, both throughput trinkets? The Zandalarian Hero Charm and my Natural Alignment Crystal? So then I get increased healing on
You've
those
got
two
60
cooldowns?
seconds of being AFK, so... might as well.
60 seconds of attacking the boss.
Well, yeah, but they're not casting Chain Lightning and Smite.
Wanding.
My mace is gonna do some big deeps, bro. Don't worry about it.
Hand of Edward the Odd. I don't know. Whatever you've got, dude. Yeah, it's you get as much throughput for that fight as you can. Likewise for the first couple of weeks, I know people want to parse, but for the first couple of weeks, we should definitely have the mages and warriors go in for the buff. Just because super impactful on those classes compared to other ones. But certainly once we get the fight down to a rhythm, we can start slotting people in for their parses. Yeah, all right.
Nixie is dropping if anyone needs it. Log in, hurry.
Around the ring. Have the
And,
center
as
of
far as Priest
Naxxramas
goes-
and brace
Never mind,
yourselves.
I'll say it later.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as far as it's not a mana intensive fight, so honestly, when your heal debuff is on, you may as well just smite the boss. Do something. Like, you can't do anything else. It's just extra damage.
Well, you're gonna dump mana. It's not like you're not.
I don't think we're gonna worry about mana much on that as Priest.
No, you're not gonna it's not gonna worry about it, but you certainly don't want to be casting smite. You can just wand. You'll be fine. Your damage is gonna be of very little consequence compared to the crit boosted mages. You know what I mean? Those guys will do a lot of damage. All right. My favorite wing time. Abomination.
As we delve into the Construct Quarter. In the Construct Quarter, you'll find a bunch of these flesh golems. Most of them do AoE and are pretty dangerous, so just take this part nice and slow. When entering the next big room, clear out a safe area to pull the next boss. Patchwork.
Alright, so something he didn't mention in this video. It's not a safe room. You clear the whole room, or else you chain pull the whole room when you fight the boss. So I don't know why he didn't mention that in the video, but that is a very important thing to do. You have to clear the whole room.
So, for instance, think about AQ20, the gauntlet that everyone used to have to run through. It doesn't even respawn. So, like, they broke AQ20 this time around. So this room could very well be the same thing, where you don't have
where they don't pull.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Have people? We'll see. I'll ask on the Herald Discord if people tested it on the PTR.
Good point. Yes.
For the most part, I mean, I guess we could test it. It's not like pulling Patchwork is a huge commitment thing. You know, Patchwork. I can pet pull him, and people can stand on the outside of the room. You know, walk out. Yeah. Okay.
Patchwork doesn't have many mechanics. His main mechanic is that he hurts a lot. Your healers will be tested on how fast they can click one button on one character for an extended period of time. Patchwork's main...
Hey, that's not true. Your tank, so Hateful Strike targets that. I'll just let him talk.
Patchwork's main ability is Hateful Strike. This is a melee attack that will do a monster amount of damage to a player in melee range that is second, third, or fourth on the threat table, and has the most health. So it's very important melee DPS in your group are watching the threat meter so they don't get insta-gibbed by the boss. What you need to have some off-tanks ready to soak this ability. This fight is fast, and it's dirty, and there's not much to talk about. At 5% heal and rage, but if your healers, if they just keep pressing that one button really, really fast and really, really hard, this boss should be dead.
So for this boss, it is a health priority thing. So as long as literally there's going to be 12 healers and there's going to be 4 people that are getting healed at all times. That's it.
No, they're not healing the off tanks when he's only hitting me. He only turns around and smacks one of the off tanks during his Hateful Strike. So an off tank's gonna go from 8 HP to like 2 HP.
Yeah, but he Hateful Strikes every 3
so
seconds.
Spamming me, and then right. So I'm saying they're gonna be spamming healing me. I'm gonna get like 10 heals in 3 seconds probably because that's how hard he hits. But every 3 seconds, when he Hateful Strikes an off tank, they're just gonna turn around and hit them with a heal. Turn around, hit them with a heal.
They have to fully top them off. They can't just. It has to be top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes.
This is pretty much DPS check and a healer check. There isn't much of this fight, as he just explained.
So
The
Shaman should
Hateful
probably
Strike-
bring their Earth Fury set since we're going to be just tank healing.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah, if
like
they have it.
Hills or Josh,
No,
you guys gotta
no
have
chain healing though.
Hills or Josh, you guys gotta have you guys gotta have a rotation for just like hunters do with tranks. You guys should have a rotation for greater heals. And so every 3 seconds, one of you is throwing a greater heal on the tank who just got fucking smacked. One greater heal should probably cover most all their HP.
Yeah. With the Earth Fury
he gets
set,
it
if
for
we put it
5K.
on, we should be able to spam the shit out of it just like we do on Twin Imps, and we won't lose much mana because it gives mana back every time we heal.
Okay.
So, it should be good. I believe we all have it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd have to double check again.
Heals or how big is your greater heal?
Normal hits for about 3,200, 3,100. If I
so you
crit,
would
it's like 4.8k.
Okay,
need
so
like 3 of them.
you would need two. You would need 2 of those on whoever just got hit with a hateful strike. And what are they? 1.5 cast?
2.5.
2.5. So yeah, you're gonna need 2 healers to heal whoever just got smacked.
When venturing to the next boss, there are these living poisons on the ground. They move very, very slowly from
Literally
one side of the
poison-
platform
poison
to the
Mario.
other. And if you touch
Frogger,
them, you
dude.
instantly die. So please, don't be that
get
one
hit by
guy
the
in your
car.
raid that dies to the extremely slow-moving slimes.
Alright, something to know. Okay, I know he's memeing here about the slimes, but something to know is that you should always approach the slimes from behind and not from the front. This is something I learned on private servers and net coding. If you approach the slime from the front, because of the way servers handle that entity, you could get hit without even being hit, and it's very unfortunate. So, yeah, just go. But once you go from behind, you really can't get hit.
If you just joined, go to the general channel and click the link.
All right, yeah. Well, let him.
Watch out! Watch out!
Let's go.
In the next room, you'll have to clear out these abominations called Stitched Spewers. They will uppercut your tank, which knocks them up in the air and wipes threat, so you'll need another tank to pick them up, and they do AoE poison damage. Clear out all of these mobs before engaging the next boss, Grobulus. When tanking Grobulus, you need to be slowly dragging him around the room because he will leave fart clouds in his wake that deal damage when you stand in them. He will also place a disease on a random member of the raid called Mutating Injection. This can be cleansed by a healer, but after it is cleansed, it will leave a fart cloud. So it's important to wait for the player to run to the side of the room before they get dispelled. You can also
Alright, so I'm pausing right there. So
the disease fall off by itself, but it will just
back in vanilla, the
do more damage if you do it that way. When drop
I got it.
so the DPS have to like if they clip into the wall. If they clip into the wall, then they reduce the radius to just like a half a circle.
Yeah, that's true.
Healers, there's a lance here. Oh, never mind, he's leaving.
Especially you just have to make sure they don't cleanse before they get to the spot.
So is it what, a disease or something? So that's going to be on who to
So it's gonna be on priests.
shamans or
Priests or
priests or
shamans.
shaman?
It'd
So-
probably be best to do priest because we can single target it, right? Because I don't think you can single target as a shaman, right? You just kind of just put
We
the
can.
totem down. Oh, okay.
No, we can, but it's cheaper on mana to do the totem. So we'll just need them to call it out when they're in the right position. Are we just gonna have like 1 or 2 people doing that, or is it just gonna be one person? How many assignments are we gonna have for that?
It
I don't
could
want
be just
everybody
one
doing it.
person.
Might be best to dedicate somebody, whether it be a priest
Yeah,
or a shaman.
just one person.
Yeah, I would say probably.
Having too many people on it causes people to get a bit stressed out about it. Just let one guy focus on it.
There's only one at a time, right?
I'd say a shaman because they can get their mana back on their own if they need it. You know what I mean?
But for priests, abolish disease is basically nothing.
Yeah,
mana-wise.
exactly. It's like no mana whatsoever.
I feel like just call it out and whoever gets to dispelling it first, it's something that everybody's gonna jump on as soon as it happens anyway.
Is it disease or is it poison?
Disease.
It's like 300 to 600 mana for shaman, I believe. I'd have to double check, but I believe it's around there. Probably 300 something.
Yeah, let me pull up the one for priest because I got buffs on him. So.
Popping off mute injection, make sure you don't stand in front of the boss because he also uses an ability called Slime Spray. This is a cone of AoE damage, and any target hit by it will summon a Fallout slime. So if you do this mechanic right, there should only be one slime that spawns because it will only be hitting your tank. Also, there is a mechanic called Slime Stream, where if a person with the highest threat isn't in melee range of the boss, he will just destroy your raid. So just kite him very slowly and don't try to do any weird cheesy stuff. At 30% he will start using mutating injection much more often, but as long as you don't corner yourself with fart clouds, you should be good. To get to the next boss, Gluth, you'll need to run through the fart tunnel of Naxxramas. You take continuous poison damage here, so if you're feeling extra cautious, you can pop a nature resistance potion if you want. Once you jump down to the other end, you will be instantly thrown into the next boss fight. Tank Gluth at the door, and he has the stacking reducing healing debuff that he puts on the tank, so you'll need to swap threat between two tanks. He also has an AoE fear that affects melee every 20 seconds. The boss will also frenzy every 10 seconds, which increases his attack speed, and this can be removed by hunters with trank shot. While all of this is going on the other side of the room, these zombie chows will spawn. At first, these zombies cannot be killable because they just have a ridiculous amount of health. So the ranged DPS of your raid, especially the mages, are responsible for kiting them around during the fight. When you can kill them is when Gluth casts Decimate. This is an ability that will reduce all members of your raid's health to 5%, including the zombies. After this ability is casted, all the zombies will start to walk towards Gluth. If they get too close to him, he will eat them and regain 5% of his health. Your whole raid needs to focus on killing these zombies as fast as possible before they reach the boss. This cycle of clearing adds during each decimate will continue throughout the fight until Gluth is finally put down.
Nothing much to say for this boss that he didn't already say. You have the mages kite the zombies, have the hunters tranking. You have the tank swapping, because I believe he puts a mortal wound debuff. I don't know if you mentioned that in the video.
He did.
Okay, there you go. So, that's it. That's the fight. It's used to be a lot more interesting, but it's not. So there you go. Do what he said, and the doggy dies.
Open up and quickly move to the next and final boss of this quarter, the Flesh Construct Thaddeus.
Well, okay, hold on a minute. So, he just skipped, literally the hardest part about this entire raid, which is the ads here. The ads here are Flesh Construct Giants. They do a raid-wide knock-up, they do a silence, they do they're fucking awful.
He's gonna get to it.
Before we engage
now.
Look, there they are, right there.
No, I'm not talking about Fugan. I'm talking about trash. There's trash that he skipped over.
You talking about the A-bombs?
No, I'll Google them right now.
Boss itself, we need to kill his minions. Your raid will be split into two separate groups. Melee go on the right side to kill Fugan, and the casters go on the left side to kill Stalag.
It'd be really important that we build, Josh, the groups for the auto-assign.
I'll have to try and... Is my mic muted? Hold up.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to try and do that once we got the group together. I can't build it without having the people in.
I agree.
I mean, I can go type the names up, but then like it'll still be all fucked
Okay.
up the day of.
I'll restart my computer. I'm having problems.
Is it like similar build up to like Twin Imps or? No, it's not. Would be an equivalent.
I guess these mobs don't exist here. So I looked on the trash. They have
Might
to
be thinking of a
exist.
different spot or something.
No, right there. It's the big construct guys that do a knock up. But I don't see them.
I thought they talked about them earlier. They said the tanks get knocked up in the air and you need a second tank.
Yeah. So we tank them. We typically tank them onto the lip.
I don't even see them on the Nax guide though, like the spreadsheet one. I don't know. Oh well. Forget I said anything.
This Fugan has a mana burn. Of course, healers will also need to be on Fugan's side, but they can outrange this ability. On Stalag's side, he just increases his attack speed, so healers will need to watch the tanks. Both of these bosses have a knockback, so don't get punted into the goo below. And every 20 seconds, both bosses will throw the tanks across the room so they will be forced to swap sides. Lastly, both bosses will need to die at around the same time. If one dies much earlier than the other, they will be resurrected to full health. When both bosses are dead, your raid will need to jump to Thaddeus. It's important to note here, I said jump. If you just walk off the ledge, you won't make it, and you'll just fall into the goo below. When you get to Thaddeus, he will cast an ability called Polarity Shift, aka your raid's idiot test. Everyone in your group will be marked with a blue plus or a red minus. If you have a blue plus, stand on the right side of Thaddeus. If you have a red minus, stand on the left side of Thaddeus. If you stand with the people that have the same mark, you deal increased damage, but if someone is next to you with the wrong mark, they will deal AoE damage to everybody around them and themselves. Thaddeus will cast this ability multiple times, so you may or may not need to switch sides whenever he casts Polarity Shift again. It's important to note that after Thaddeus dies, you will still have these debuffs on you, so don't just swarm towards the boss and try and loot him, because then your whole raid is going to die after the boss is dead.
Now that's the best part about this fight, is when he dies, the people that go to loot him just instantly get deleted. So yeah, as he said, I posted it, I think it's in general as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Thaddeus, so the minus Thaddeus plus plus. If you look in general chat, you'll see the diagram, if you will, for Thaddeus. Not the second one, of course. Don't pretend that one doesn't exist. So the way he does a polarity shift, and that's that. But here's something that can be a bit problematic with this fight, is it doesn't always look like that. Sometimes it looks a little bit like this. And unfortunately, that 1+ player could be a tank. So we need to have at least 3 tanks, is this recommended amount. And they need to be ready to pick up things or pick up the boss should the polarity shift get so imbalanced that, because if it ever gets to, because I've seen it go all the way down to like 5 people, on one side. So 5 people on one side, 35 on the other. So the people on the 35 side are getting 3,500 increased damage, which is insane. And then the guy on the right side is getting 500, which is nothing. So yeah, that's that. Other than that, yeah, that's the whole video, right? Because then it's horsemen and all that.
Pretty much, that's the 3 wings I think we're gonna focus on.
Did anyone have any questions regarding what they just saw?
You guys want to place bets on who goes in the drink first?
Joshua, Sean.
That's your answer to everything, barely.
Bro, I'm gonna do it on purpose. Same with the slime hall.
That's a rigged bet.
I'm gonna make you assholes have to res me in the middle of the hall. It's gonna be real fun.
I'll save my battle res for you.
Yeah, we'll just res you in the middle of the next slime.
Actually, I have a feeling it's gonna be a rogue.
I hope it's me.
Definitely gonna be a rogue. They're gonna be stealthing up, trying to see.
Yep.
Go right fucking down.
It's gonna be me.
You know, to be honest, I'm sorry, but it's either gonna be a rogue or red tag. I don't know. I just have a feeling red.
Someone's following it, right?
He had to leave early.
Maybe it'll be Punchy because he can't even fucking see it on his screen.
Whoa! I have never failed that jump in my life. Goodness gracious.
Even while blinded.
Hunters can't even fail it because aspect of the cheetah means I could just walk off. So I'm a cheater, pumpkin eater, man.
So what you're saying is that we should be doing aspect of the pack there as a safety measure? That's what
Aegis
I'm
can
hearing.
throw levitate. Or slow fall.
Fuck. Well, sounds like a plan, guys. It should be easy peasy. Think we'll have a couple that are gonna be hard to do, but I think we can handle it.
And the biggest thing to set up for tomorrow is spore rotation, healing assignments for Lotheb, and we should be good to go. There really isn't much else in the fight.
I think the hardest part's gonna be getting in there without getting dispelled.
Yeah,
So-
I have a feeling griefing is gonna be to the maximum.
So we found a spot that is probably the best we're gonna do. We were gonna go in the ziggurats, whatever the fuck you want to pronounce them. But there's an elite that spawns in there, so we can't really bring low-level guys to do that. We found a mushroom out here that's not like I can see the next spawn from here, but you're still talking like I don't know 200 yards, 300 yards away. So.
How about in the back where they do the benediction quest? That seems like the safest.
I mean, you can, but isn't that kind of far?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna run the gauntlet either way, honestly.
We'll probably.
Well, the
scout.
thing is, there's like no mobs that spawn back there, so you're low level.
Well, here, what I'll do. Look, I'll show you guys because we have it up right now. So this is the spot that we got right now.
Do you open up the world map?
Yep.
Okay.
So this right here, for anybody that's watching, that's the zone in for Nax. So this mushroom that we're on, you can't actually get to it without either using a sprint from a rogue or using an epic mount. If you have the 60% speed, you can't even get on here. The only other issue is, if you got range guys attacking, but you don't have to worry about rogues or warriors, unless if they run and jump in.
You just gotta worry about priests.
Yeah.
Yeah, those fuckers.
But yeah, like I said, I think this is the best spot we have so far. I don't think we're gonna get anything closer, unless if we can spawn, like if we can summon right to the very entrance over there, that'll be perfect. But I mean, we'll definitely have to see how that goes.
Yeah, it could just be completely horde dominated and we don't have to worry about it.
Dude, is that a plague bloom there? Grab
No, it's Arthas's. I
Christ.
know. Why, you need some?
Plague bloom? Hell yeah.
I got one more there too. But yeah, so Red is gonna farm up some. He's gonna farm up some of those soul shards or whatever. So we should be good. We'll probably have to summon the low guys, level 20 guys out here.
I can come on my hunter and warrior.
I'm gonna put my mage and rogue out there too.
Yeah, if you guys want, yeah, if you guys are gonna bring alts over here, just send me a message for an IMV. It should be auto set to invite you. So, eat more chicken.
What if I want steak?
Well, that doesn't really go with Chick-fil-A, so.
Oh, I was kidding. It's always chicken. English, not robot, please.
Yeah, whoever was just talking, we couldn't hear you.